Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be about Invisible Woman in this month Uncollected quest. What are the best ways to defeat her and what is your basic fighting idea against her? So the best way how to deal with Invisible Woman is Quake. Simply just because you don't have to worry about invisibility or any other ability she has. You don't want how to worry about her special attacks, nothing. Just only thing you need to pay attention to is masochism, and that's about it. Just sit in your corner, Quake her. Not a problem at all. However, we are going to be taking a look at different examples, obviously, in case you do not have Quake or do not enjoy playing with her. So if you're going to fight her with any other champions, you need to know when she goes invisible. So she starts the fight invisible. She will 100% go invisible whenever you deplete force field to 0. She has a chance to go invisible whenever you knock her down with special or heavy attack, and then she can go invisible with her level 1 attack, and also if you do block the last hit of her level 2 attack. But those are like irrelevant. The one you need to worry about is the one when the force field depletes, mostly. Just because that can happen like mid-combo, mid-special attack, and that can really mess you up. So we have another perfect option here, Archangel, just because of his ability accuracy reduction. Archangel has a really time with this Invisible Woman because she isn't immune to bleed or poison. Therefore, as long as you get rid of the masochism and manage to stack up some bleeds, you're gonna have an easy time. One thing I have to mention, her AI occasionally behaves like really tricky, and she didn't want to kind of like attack me. So I couldn't get like rid of the masochism, so it kind of drags the fight out. But typically I don't think you would have many problems using an Archangel, even a 4-star version like I do in this video. Even with Suicide Zone, we do manage to get her down quickly enough. But yeah, so we went over the main time she goes invisible, and yeah, the one thing that always will mess people up is the one that either you knock her down or if you deplete the force field. So if you watch out for that, you shouldn't have too many problems. Also, whenever she goes invisible, if she goes invisible indefinitely, you can basically unpause that if you tap her block, and she will block, and that is probably the easiest way how to force her out of her invisibility. If you just hit her on a block while she is invisible, or you can alternatively parry stun her, hit once, and then kind of dash away and wait it out. But yeah, another great option for Invisible Woman is Nick Fury, because if Nick Fury has 5 or more tactical charges, he cannot miss. And that is like the key aspect here, so he basically can ignore that invisibility altogether. Obviously, that's easiest accomplished when you get hit in the face, when you actually get to real Nick Fury instead of the decoy, shoot off a level 1, you have enough tactical charges, and from here on out we will have absolutely no problems. We don't care whether Invisible Woman is visible or invisible. We can just attack and play this fight as normal. Furthermore, when we get to unblockable phase, we have no problems finding openings against her, and basically we just mince in at her. Be careful that we do not eat a special attack, but aside from that, super easy fight. Nick Fury, pretty much a perfect counter for this Invisible Woman. As we can see here, she's going down super quickly. I should have done some more light attacks before because that bleed is massive, but fair enough. This is only rank 3 Nick Fury, by the way, so he's putting in some serious work, as we can see here. Another great way to force Invisible Woman out of her invisibility is simply by shrugging off those debuffs that she's placing on you. To be honest, like, I don't even know what those debuffs do. I don't think it's anything too relevant, but however, I do know that if you do shrug off that debuff, she's gonna immediately lose her invisibility. Therefore, something like Aegon is a perfect counter to Invisible Woman, because he shrugs those off whenever you do manage to land a critical hit. Therefore, basically, you're going to constantly force her out of invisible mode, and she's pretty much never going to be invisible. So that's cool. As you can see here, 4-star Aegon, absolutely no problems. I'm going to have a bit of a sloppy gameplay in this video, just because some of these fights were my first encounters with Invisible Woman, and I was getting used to the animations. That's why I wanted to add that Nick Fury synergy is really a great help in this fight and any new fight where you are kind of struggling with opponent's animations, because it can save you several times from making mistakes. As you can see, that is that green icon on left side corner below Aegon, because whenever I would get struck, if I'm not blocking, it basically waits for me, so I get off scot-free. But yeah, here you can see Aegon fighting Invisible Woman, and she pretty much never goes invisible just because we constantly keep shrugging off her debuff. So this is going to be another super fun fight. I decided to include it in this video just because of the bleed aspect of the fight, and I really kind of had fun with this one. So Ronan also has a chance to shrug off debuffs whenever he enters his first stance. So you can use that. Also, whenever Invisible Woman is bleeding, her invisibility basically is never unpaused, so it's always going to expire within 2 seconds. So as you can see here, we also use a tactic that we can simply hit Invisible Woman's block to deplete the force field initially, so you don't have to deal with that masochism, even though she has like a really durable stance there. But as soon as we get her out of that force field, we're going to start dealing some really serious damage. So the first beginning of the fight is quite slow, but we also have been ramping up our cruelty stacks to kind of like get into the real damage. I've been playing a bit sloppy just because that's how I enjoy playing with Ronan, especially if I have that Nick Fury Quake synergy working for me, so I just feel really safe and free to dash in, dash out, and have some fun with Ronan. Anyway, so we launched off a huge level 2. She's on 15 bleed stacks. As you can see, her force field did activate again, but it's pretty much already depleted just because of all the bleed damage she took, and she immediately got forced out of her force field mode. And yeah, so Ronan, and pretty much any bleed champion, if you bleed her aggressively enough, is going to deal with Invisible Woman extremely easy. So here you can see 44 hits, rank 3, unduped, 5-star Ronan, no problem whatsoever. But now I'm just gonna try and explain my best how to deal with Invisible Woman with pretty much any champion. So whenever you start the fight, first things first, you need to disable the invisibility by any means you have, whether by tapping her block or parrying her, hitting her once while she's under stun, backing away and waiting it out, doesn't matter. Then you need to deplete the force field by hitting her or hitting her block very carefully. Do make sure that you do not launch an extra attack which would miss. So do kind of always pay attention to her force field. While her force field is down, treat this fight like any other regular normal fight. If possible at all, avoid kind of like using your level 1 just because that would be extra time you knock her down. Just try and basically avoid your heavy attacks and excessive use of special attacks. You can also pretty much do the entire fight without any special or heavy attacks. Anyway, so the same thing here again. We disabled the invisibility at the beginning of the fight. Now we're watching her force field. As you can see here, we just disabled it with our last hit. So now we struck her once, her invisibility is about to expire, and that's it. We are free to fight Invisible Woman as a normal, regular champion. That is not an issue at all. So, yeah, I know it is confusing fighting against her initially. However, it really is not kind of like a big or a hard opponent in defense once you actually understand when and why she goes invisible. The one thing that is messing people up is that she goes invisible mid-combo, and it's a simple way of preventing that by paying attention to her force field and kind of carefully pushing those last charges when you are disabling it, and that's pretty much it. And yeah, shoot your special attacks only when she's in cooldown. But as we can see here, again, we just disabled that invisibility, would have waited it out, and would finish it off. Now again, last fight, I'm going to show exactly the same thing with Medusa. We wait out the invisibility, we are going to deplete that force field to 0, and then just going to go to town with her. But yeah, I hope this video, guys, helped you. I hope this video helped you out, guys. I hope you did enjoy what you saw. If you do like this type of content, please do feel free to hit that subscribe button, like button, share button, all the buttons. And I'm gonna see you guys very soon. See ya.